Rogers.
Present.
Trustee Reinders.
Present.
Trustee Pezmino.
Present.
Trustee Consolino. Present. Trustee Fialco.
Present.
Trustee Laha.
Present.
And Mayor Yukich.
Present. Are there any amendments, are there any changes or concerns for the amendments on the agenda?
Yes, sir. I have one. Move public comment below E. Right before reports and communications.
All right. So, back in the spring, the Village of Homer Glen adopted a Simplicity app as an incentive to join. Residents that downloaded the app were able to enter a raffle giveaway with prizes. The grand prize is a 65-inch TV. Tonight, I would like to announce the winners. First prize goes to Ella Slavinskas for a 65-inch 4K TV. Second prize, Deanna Redwansky, $125 Meyer gift card. And third prize winner, Cheryl Nyland, $75 Jewel Osco gift card. I should go on. Done? Are any of the three here? Okay, let's get that out of the way. So,
Thank you for coming.
took my TV. It's in my office for so long. You moved Ella?
Yeah.
We moved out to the car for you. And who else is here? Just, you know, I'm here right now. But that's okay. All right, you did win a 65-inch 4K TV, which is that one right there. You have room in the car for it?
Can we pick it up later?
Yeah, you can do it. Didn't think it was that big, did you? That's all right. It still mounts to a wall. It still does everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
What time do you think you'll be back?
What time do you think you will be able to?
Whatever works.
Oh, we're here till 2, 3 in the morning, so. No, if you can't make it tonight, we can load it up for you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, probably.
Okay? Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. One thing that I think we all need to do right now is we need to have a moment of silence for the victims of the Texas school shooting and say a prayer for them if you can. Thank you. I would like to at least say for the parents, for the families, for the school, for the teachers, how absolutely abominable this is. Something has to change pretty soon, and people have to get it through their head that I think we have a mental disorder that needs to be addressed, and none of the states or anything are doing anything about it. It's either that or the parents are definitely failing their job. How do you let a kid get a gun to shoot someone? So, my heart goes out to them and my prayers go out to them. Other than that, I'm going to go on with life. So we're going to go public comment. flush the toilet. All right.
Possibly could be you.
All right. Rodrigo Juarez?
I just signed up in case I need to speak on my public ordinance.
Okay. Thank you. Lynn McGarry?
Hi, Glen McGarry. I'm just here for one last time for our Heritage Corridor Business and Golf outing on June 9th at Cog Hill. Thank you to those I know are signed up, Ruben, Beth, Christina, though I'm confident we're going to have some village representatives. I still have room for a couple more foursomes, so if anybody else is interested, please ask. Thank you.
Thank you. Frank, you're next.
Hi, I'm Frank Bujan, Hidden Valley Estates. Been out here since 2020. I'm employing one of the trustees. We're a home municipality, which means we can pass rules that the state may not agree with. 218 municipalities. We have to stop gun sales in Homer Glen. We have 3 places they sell guns in Homer Glen. They should not be allowed to sell guns in Homer Glen. If you want to buy a gun, buy it in another place. I suggest they ban guns in Homer Glen sales. They had too many murders. Second Amendment was in 1776. They used one-gun guns. You can buy a gun right down the street, 159th Street. You go in there, you wait 24 hours. Be 18 years old. Our last one of the trustees, I talked to, forgot your first name. I talked to one of the young ladies earlier. I hope somebody has the guts to put up a referendum, vote on it, let the ACLU sue you or whatever they want to do. You'd stand up under law. No guns in Homer Glen. No sales in Homer Glen. They want to buy guns, let them go into Chicago and buy guns from the criminals. Stores down the streets, all kinds of guns. It's too easy to get a gun here. I don't know what else I can say. My heart bleeds for these people. I got 4 grandsons. You have little girls. You have little girls. Everybody's got little kids. This guy killed 21 people. What's to stop a kid from Lockport coming over to buy a gun over there? Some loose guy did. A couple years ago, my grandson got tackled by a guy in the Lockport High School. Never knew him. He body slammed him. My grandson got suspended for 3 days. My son went in there and said, that kid didn't even know my grandson. There's a lot of crazy people out there. Don't make it, we got to start somewhere with the grassroots. We can't expect Congress to do it. We got to ban guns in Illinois, at Homer Glen. No guns in Illinois be sold. That's all I can say. That's the most I can say. I've shot guns before. I think they're very dangerous. I don't have a gun at home myself. I don't think we should be able to buy the guns down the street. They've already checked with the people on the street. They'll put other stuff in camping equipment and other stuff to substitute for guns. There's a big gun section, a big place. And there's some guy that sells guns out of his home, I think, in Mark Game.
You have 30 seconds.
3 places you can buy guns in Homer Glen. 0 places where we want. Want to go to Orland Park? Want to go to the south side of Chicago? Don't sell guns in Homer Glen. I want the trustees to step up and have the guts to pass a law. Right away. Don't delay. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Next, Sherry Kozula.
I'm just here to answer questions if they come up about the library.
Okay. Alex Armin.
And the same, I'm at the library.
Nanette Anderson.
Same.
Sean McKee.
Hi, everybody. At the last board meeting, when I provided a correction to a statement that Dan made, claiming that the flock safety cameras held the pictures indefinitely. They actually only do for 30 days. And that flock stores the information in a searchable cloud system called Vigilant, which it doesn't. Dan suggested that the letter that I read from the CEO of Flock stating these facts was financially motivated. He then said he received his information from an unnamed retired FBI agent. I don't know how long ago the anonymous FBI agent retired, but if it's any more than a few years ago, he may not have even been aware of Flock Safety as they're a relatively new company. The FBI and other federal agencies do in fact use Vigilant, and Vigilant can in fact store images for as long as the owner of them chooses to. But to eliminate any further doubt whether Flock and Vigilant work together, and to bring impartial and not financially interested sources to this topic, I spoke to a currently active and not anonymous federal agent, Steve Havlin from the Department of Homeland Security Investigations, and his technical subject matter expert, who stated that they use Vigilant and that Flock and Vigilant do not work together and have no connection. To provide the final word on this, I went straight to the source and spoke with Allison Alvarado with the Video Security and Analytics Division at Motorola here in Chicago. Motorola is the company who owns Vigilant. Allison stated that Vigilant plate search works only with our Vigilant LPR cameras. It cannot run on Flock cameras. Hopefully this puts to rest any further debate regarding Dan's original statement made 2 board meetings ago. The actual facts are easily obtainable. All it took was a few emails and phone calls if you really want to know them. The board is entitled to the facts and should not be influenced by hearsay alone. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, next would be Matt Kerr.
Matt Klein, and Mayor number 8, if you have any questions on the special service.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next would be reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. Mine, for what I have to say right now, goes back to Texas. Let's just, I would say, write your congressman, write anything you can to any governmental official to see if they can get someone to help some of these kids. Someone just doesn't pick up a gun and start shooting people. They've got problems, and if they don't even know where to go with the problems, this is what they do. So instead of giving billions and billions and trillions away to people that are in another country, let's clean our house first. As for the trustees, Jen, we'll start with you.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to say thank you to the mayor for his comments about Uvalde tonight. I absolutely agree with the sentiment. I don't really have a report tonight, but I would like to wish everyone a very happy and safe Memorial Day. But I would request that you please take the time to honor and remember all of our military that lost their lives so selflessly for our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Ms. Lahat?
All right. I don't have much of a report, but I do want to offer on, sorry, I just saw my little son up there smiling. Not used to seeing his face out there. I do want to remind you that we have our Special Needs Fest Day, which is Friday, June 24th. And the Ability Awareness Committee will be bartending that night, and all proceeds go towards our annual project that we have in mind. So if you guys want to come and enjoy the music and be part of our group and help us raise money, please let me know. And then we'll also be in the parade on Saturday. If you want to walk with us, we have Best Buddies from Lockport coming and joining us, so we're really excited for that. So let me know. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Rogers?
I just want to thank staff and John Robinson and his crew, Brent, Matt, Jennifer, for their work that they did on the kite event. It was very well attended from what I can see. Although we can't control the wind, they can control how they put things together, and they did a really great job. And it's funny, I had a conversation with Sue at the kite event, and she said, you know, every market in the Glen, we're holding the tents down, and the tents are taking off, and sure enough, the next weekend was market in the Glen, and they were holding the tents down and things like that. But everybody still enjoyed the kite event, and I know they did get some kites up in the air, and it was great to see all the families out there in food trucks and things. So appreciate their efforts.
Thank you. Trustee Pesmino?
Thank you, sir. A few things. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who came out to the planting event. It was hosted by the Environment Committee in conjunction with the Parks Committee and the Homer Glen Junior Women's
Women's Club. It was a very nice event. We're planting basil and rosemary and lemon zest and all the herbs you can think of.
And thank you, Trustee Reinders, for her assistance, and to Melissa King.
Exactly. Very well attended event. I think it was one of the first in this class, and the first time I saw Rosie get down and dirty, and she was pretty good putting all those herbs out and putting them back in. Also, I'd like to wish a congratulations to Trustee Laha, who had a segment on Fox News highlighting Homer Glen and our Ability Awareness Committee. The fact that so many people saw that, so many people saw what we do here in Homer Glen, and we're the first of our class to do it. And then lastly, heartfelt congratulations to our mayor, Mayor Yukich, who has a brand new baby granddaughter.
No, boy, this one. Granddaughter, that's it. I kept saying it's going to be a girl. She kept saying it's going to be a boy. She won.
Well, congratulations.
All right, next would be Trustee Reinders.
Good evening, everyone. I just would like to reiterate what Trustee Casmino said here tonight. We had a great time in the park on Sunday with the kids. It was just a joy. It just warmed my heart to watch them. They were so helpful. All they wanted to do was get their hands dirty, and they wanted to water. And water, and water, and water. Even as I was planting, they were pouring water, and it was creating mud, but we had such a great time. And at the end of it, I gave each one of them about a pound of wildflower seeds to go into our little wildflower patch out there and spread the seeds. And everybody was just throwing their seeds, running around. And I just said to them, now you gotta come back in the summer and make sure that you see all the hummingbirds and butterflies that this is gonna attract. So it was really a great event. And also we had the Rustic Vintage Fair last Sunday, which got rained out. But we actually got 4 good hours of the fair. So in attendance, there were actually 88 vendors showed up, and then there were, I think we had 760 people attend before it rained. It was really a nice event, very organized, very clean. Everybody was so happy. I talked to every single vendor there. They were so happy that we allowed them to do this in the park, and they can't wait for the next one. So the next event is actually July 23rd, and that's from 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. And Mayor, I just have one more thing. I just have to say, you know, and I normally, anybody that knows me knows I don't really speak out too much, but I just have to say that I find it so appalling that we have a village employee that feels the need to come to this podium and correct a village trustee on a matter that could have been handled privately. I just find it very appalling, and it's very unnecessary. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Reinders. Trustee Fialko.
Thank you, sir. Reporting on the fest. The fest is only 4 weeks away. To get to the spot, to find out what we have lined up for Homerfest, you go to homerfest.com. Also, to help out the Ability Awareness Group, there is a tab within there. If you go to the menu, and you can go and sign up if you want to participate in the ability awareness if your family would like to participate in that. In addition to that, we had a vendors meeting, and the vendors meeting went very, very well. Some of the changes that we're going to have this year are the north end of where the fest or the carnival usually is at is where the vendors are going to be that are coming to the village of Homer Glen. Now the carnival also has his vendors, which will be just south of that. But everybody's going to be mixed together, so it won't be peripheral to the tent like it has been in other years. It'll be mixed in at the south end of the tent towards the information booth. With that said, the vendors were very happy because that gives them an opportunity to make more money. Unlike before where you had to actually go in the tent, see the food vendors, and then go over that way. Now they're going to be mixed in at that south end of the tent on the asphalt, not in the grass. So if you're there and you're looking for the food vendors for this year, that's where they're going to be. I also would like to, for the families in Texas, I would like to say my prayers are out to them for the loss, and I cannot imagine that pain. So that would be it, sir.
Thanks, sir. Next, village clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. As we talked about at the last board meeting, myself and Gina Marcotte, Gia, and a couple other staff members are working on the new business plan for 2023, about the business licenses and fees and whatnot. We've had a few conference calls and we're learning a new program that they haven't even implemented yet, so it's going to take a few months for us to get going on it. So I just wanted to give you a quick update, and as soon as we have all the information, we'll give it all to you and come up with some sort of plan.
Okay. Thank you. Is that it?
Yes.
Thank you. Village Attorney Eric.
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you. Kerry.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
All right. Public safety officials. Thanks, Lieutenant. Village Manager.
Hello, everybody. I do have a few things to go over. We're working with the sports groups. They started May 1st. Since we have consumed all the parks in the area, we have the complex. As everybody knows, baseball is full go right now. We've been having some issues with grass cutting because of weather. So if we can get some information with our parks and recs, we've kind of been communicating with the sports groups to kind of utilize our schedule against their schedule, because we know everybody out there, really wants the grass looking nice for when they're out there, the kids are out there playing. I know the first few weeks it was a little rough kind of getting it coordinated. I think John Robinson has done a wonderful job to start moving forward with a more regimented schedule to get out there in the fields. We also are working on the football fields right now. We're going to start cutting them twice a week. They seem to be getting very long. Soccer fields that we have out there, we're going to start cutting those twice a week. Baseball likes their fields pristine, so they do kind of take a little more effort and take care of their fields. They have the machinery and stuff for that, so that's always a great thing. It's nice to work together with these sports groups. They are a big part of our community. They really, really engage all the children that are in our community, and it's really great to see that. And I'm really happy that we can all work together in this beautiful park we have. It's so awesome. We are, just so the board knows, we are having a little infrastructure trouble with the football field as well. I will be abreast, let you guys know what's going on with that. At the moment, it is not working. So some of the irrigation for our grass areas is not up to par, and we'll kind of be facilitating going forward. So I want to let everybody kind of understand that. Exciting, Fest is coming up in 4 weeks. Staff has seemed to be enthusiastic about it, which is awesome. So we're getting geared up for that, and we're ready to roll, and I think everybody's going to put their gloves on and jump right in. So we're excited about that. Another thing I'd like to talk about is our Simplicity app. Last time I reported on it, we have 1,261 users right now, which is kind of awesome, to see a village grow that fast with this app that we have. I actually use it for myself as good reminders, because you can set up some reminders for meetings, so it kind of helps me out, and I think it's just a great way for our community to get information that we're trying to put out there with our events, what's going on in our parks, and all that good stuff, and it's kind of nice. The other thing I'd like to address is there is still no update with Will County on our flock cameras, so just everybody's aware of that. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, sir. Next would be consent agenda. Consider for approval the accounts payable for the period of May 13th, 2022 through May 26th, 2022 in the amount of $706,249.72. Number 2, consider for approval the treasurer's report of cash and investments for the period ending April 30th, 2022. And Madam Clerk, could you?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Laha? Aye. Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Consolino? Aye. Trustee Bielko?
Aye.
Trustee Pesmino?
Aye.
Motion carries. H, public comment we did. Legislation and action items. Number 1, consider a motion to establish ordinance number 22-024 in order to amend section 5-3B of the Village of Homer Glen Code of Ordinances regarding the order of business or agenda for the Transportation of business at regular village board meetings conducted within the village of Homer Glen, Will County, Illinois.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
I just want to make a comment on this. Public comment is very important to this board. Transparency and being able to communicate is very important with the constituents and with the public. So what we wanted to do with this to actually accomplish was to move public comment before the reports and communications from everybody. So instead of debating with anybody at the podium, the idea was to move this up on the agenda, to be able to hear, and then if we had the opportunity to respond, if we're able to respond during our time, we would then be able to respond. So it just seems like that is a better way of doing business than having somebody speak after us where we can't really address it. We have to ask, and then and you're not, it has been recommended through in OMA and in IML that you don't necessarily debate with everybody that comes up to the podium. So the thing is, we want to be able to answer those questions by giving the public the opportunity to speak first, and then for us to then speak on the agenda. We can always address those questions better than the way it was set up before. There are some areas that do have public comments all the way at the end of the meeting. I think it's better that we do it this way, and that's why it was changed.
Mayor, can I make just a small point? The number on this particular ordinance should be 22024 instead of the heading on this has incorrectly listed as 22025, because the next ordinance on the agenda also has the 22025 number. If you look at the base page of yours, so that should just be changed. That can be changed manually.
All right.
What is the number supposed to be here?
2024.
Okay.
That's what mine is.
It's correct. I know what's that.
Oh, I'm here. Okay.
Mayor, would you like me to call the roll?
Yes, please.
Trustee Rogers? Trustee Kazmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha? Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Consolino?
Aye.
Trustee Reiner?
Aye.
Motion carries. Good catch, Kerry. Next, consider for approval the mayor and village board's appointments to the village's committees for one-year terms. Right now, that's all we're at. We don't have it all finished up yet, so.
This was on the dice, so they were revised.
Are we reading all these things? Every single sentence?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Beth. I'll second.
I will just.
All right. Is there any questions or?
I think if we just read the motion for consideration, that should cover it, right?
Yep. Is there a motion to approve the executive board's appointments of the village's committees as listed?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Rogers?
There's a
Trustee?
motion on the table. Rogers and
Sorry.
sorry.
It hadn't been read yet. But okay, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. One change on the mayor's environmental committee appointments. One person changed, one was out, and we're going to fill it. And the same thing with the mayor's parks and recreation committee. We have one person that is.
Yeah. Added.
What?
We added Amy.
Oh, you added, okay,
Yes.
Amy's, all right.
Yeah.
Then we don't have to go any further. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 3, consider a motion to approve the revised 2022 adjudication court calendar for the village of Homer Glen.
So moved.
Second.
Said trustee Rogers, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking.
Yes, trustee Rogers. Any discussion on that?
Joel, I'm assuming you've looked this over and all those numbers are correct?
That's correct.
And this will help you out in the
Yeah,
process of adjudication?
I'll be working with Terry in the adjudication process. This will be before the second board meeting of every month. So it does save, it just it works out better for everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll on 3?
Trustee Pazmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha?
Aye.
Trustee Fielko?
Aye.
Trustee Cancelino? Aye. Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, consider a motion to assign a Class E liquor license, temporary license to Assumption Greek Orthodox Church located at 15625 South Bell Road, Homer Glen, for the Greek for a Day festival occurring July 30th and July 31st, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
Discussion?
I'd just like to say, Mayor, this is something that we've consistently granted to the church for at least, I believe, the past at least 6 years. It's a good family event, and it's always been very successful. The community enjoys going out and being great for the day, so I think it's a good addition to the village.
Yeah, and it's open to the public.
And the food is really good.
It's really good.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, consider a motion to approve ordinance number 22025, a request for a variance to reduce the required side yard building setback from 10 feet to 7 feet for certain real property located in the R4 Single Family Residential District at 12239 West Carroll Drive, Homer Glen, Illinois, case number HG2207V1. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Glen and Rose. Discussion? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Trustee Fielko?
Aye.
Trustee Cancelino? Aye. Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Pazmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, consider a motion to approve ordinance number 22026, a request for 1, a variance to allow an outdoor recreational area and a shed as an obstruction in the corner of the side yard, and 2, a variance to reduce the corner side yard building setback to 5 feet for the outdoor recreational area and 9 feet for the shed for certain real property located at the R5 Single Family Residential District at 13057 West Spring Court, Homer Glen, Illinois, case number HG2208V.
So moved.
Second.
And Rosie. Discussion?
This was fine with the planning commission, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, they approved it
Sit there.
unanimously.
Okay, Madam Clerk, you want to call the roll?
Trustee Laha?
Aye.
Trustee Fielko?
Aye.
Trustee Cancelino? Aye. Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Pazmino?
Aye.
Motion carries. 6, consider a motion to approve ordinance number 22027, a request for a variance to increase the allowable copy area for a manual changeable copy sign from the maximum of 30 feet, 30% to 55% of the overall sign copy area, which measures 16 square feet for certain real property located in the P1 governmental buildings and public school districts at 14320 West 151st Street, Homer Glen, Illinois, HG 2209V.
So moved.
Second. Well, she has somebody over there.
You went first? Okay. So, okay, Nicole and then Rudy. Discussion?
The only question that I would have about the sign and changing the size of it to increase it is the traffic coming out of the library and the obstruction it may cause. Have you guys, I know the planning commission is happy with it, but have we I have not, I can't see where it would be or where it would end. Based on the footage that you have here and where it's going to be, we don't see it as an obstruction to pulling out into traffic though, right?
It is not an obstruction, in a clear vision triangle, no. And it's set back 5 feet from the property line, which is required by code. And the overall square footage of the sign is not being increased, so the max square footage you can have in the public zoning district is 32 square feet of copy, which is what they're just under that, I believe, 29 for the overall copy. The portion that we're increasing is just the manual changeable portion, which can only be, I think it's 30% of the overall, and it's going up to be 55% of the overall. Does that make sense?
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Consolino? Aye. Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Vasmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha?
Aye.
Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, consider a motion to approve the contract for professional engineering services. Oh. Consider a motion to approve ordinance number 22-028, an ordinance proposing the establishment of a special service area, SSA, for the villas of Old Oak, providing for a public hearing on this matter.
So moved.
Rosie,
I'll second.
discussion?
Can I add something, Mayor? There's an updated ordinance in front of you. It says updated I-8. The only change to that, clerk, is the ownership. They closed on the property this week, so we changed the ownership on the ordinance. It's on the first page.
Don't worry about it.
Is everyone okay with that change?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any other discussion on this?
You're referring to the change of ownership? Just to be clear? Yes.
Okay, is there any other discussion on that? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Vasmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha?
Aye.
Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Consolino?
Aye.
Mayor, before we move on, if I could back up just for 1 second, the item number 4 with the liquor license. Just want to make sure, so we reflect on the record that trustees, that you abstained from that.
Well, it was number one, it wasn't a vote, that's why I didn't know.
Well, I'm just saying, for the record, we want to make sure that.
Should we do a vote just to cover our bases?
I would appreciate it. I was going to mention that, but I didn't get going.
We're going to do a roll call.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
So just so that everybody knows, we're going back to I-4 to do a individual vote.
Before we do that though, I just want to make sure that, because you made the motion, who made the motion on that?
You did, Trustee Fialko and Trustee Reinders did second.
Right, so do you,
She can
That's
still,
okay with
she
you?
can move and she can second, that's not a problem. She just doesn't want to abstain from the vote itself.
I'm only asking because you said with the liquor license for the restaurant, I believe that's why you wouldn't abstain.
In terms of abstaining, right?
Right, well, the same thing
Just
with
did
the
a
road
voice
as a
vote.
restaurant.
You did do a voice vote, so if you're going to reconsider it and do a roll call, you could do a motion and a second again and do your roll call, just to have a clear record on this.
I think that would be the better way.
That's what that's what
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you, guys. Trustee Rogers? Trustee Vasmino?
I abstained because I have a liquor license.
Trustee Laha?
Aye.
Trustee Fialko?
Aye.
Trustee Consolino?
Aye.
And Trustee Reinders?
I abstain because I have a liquor license.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Oh, there's two.
Good.
Okay. So, motion carries on that one. Consider a motion to approve the contract for professional engineering services for the Finnegan Creek Sanitary Sewer Cedar Road Extension with Robinson Engineering Ltd. in the amount of 12.5% of construction cost not to exceed $180,469, plus an amount not to exceed $22,000 for geotechnical studies, soil borings, and detailed in the scope of services.
So, I will second it.
Who was first, trustee?
Constellino.
Okay, Constellino and Bielko.
Discussion?
I had a comment or a question from a resident that I forwarded to Carrie, so Carrie looked into it for him, so could you speak to that maybe? Or, I'm sorry, not Carrie. Carmen.
So the question at hand was, does the Bonnie Bray Sanitary District have enough room for the quantity? And I actually reached out to the engineer for Bonnie Bray's, and he says it's still possible. So that was what I was told today when I spoke to him this afternoon. So, was there any other?
No, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That's good.
No, I just want to add a quick question too, because like, I know the boring is expensive, but if we had to go back and do it much later, it would be even more expensive. So that's why it's better to do it now.
Yeah, and the other thing with the, they have a meeting tonight at the Bonnie Bray Sanitary, and they were actually going to bring this item up for discussion, so just kind of finding that.
So they've done phase 1 already?
This would be phase 1 for us.
This would be phase 1?
Yeah, for the extension. This is for the extension of Finnegan Creek.
After they do phase 1, what they do is they analyze everything. If everything's clean, you're done.
Correct.
Then if not, and the phase 1 isn't real expensive. It's phase 2 that gets expensive. So we have to find out what's in phase 1 and then phase 2. If they need it, it'll probably take them 4 to 8 weeks to drill, bore, study, and then get back to them. But this way, at least we know what has to be done and the cost.
Correct.
Okay. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Panzino?
Aye.
Trustee Lana?
Aye.
Trustee Bielko?
Aye.
Trustee Constellino? Aye. Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any old business?
I have a question in regards to the last couple meetings. Where are we at with coming up with what we wanted to do as far as the plan for collecting on the licenses, the ones that were outstanding?
Are you caught up on those now?
Oh, I didn't hear you. You're asking where we're at, where the current.
Yeah, okay, so the last meeting we agreed that we were going to talk about what we were going to do as far as policy.
Yeah, so Gina, our deputy clerk, was out for the last week. But Joe and I did touch base. We did have a few businesses turn in their money. One was no longer in business, and we had 2 turn in their money. And we are sending the letter as of June 1st. And we're doubling what it was last time.
We're doubling it, but didn't we say that we wanted to come up with a plan on how we're
going to move forward?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what Gina and I are going to work on Friday. And the reason why we kind of pumped the brakes a little bit is because we've been having these meetings with iWorks. And
Okay, no, and I'm aware of that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there anything else under old business? Is there anything under new business?
Yes, sir, I did have something. Under the last administration, this August 26, 2020, an ordinance was passed extending when peddlers and solicitors could approach somebody's residence up until 9 o'clock. I'd like to put that on the next agenda to reverse that so that no solicitor could be at your doorstep after dark. So if we could just add that to the agenda for the next meeting, that'd be great.
We can do that.
Thank you, that's all I have.
That would be nice.
As long as we're kind of talking about it, can you tell us why that was changed to that late at night? It's at 9 o'clock right now, I believe, right? Isn't it 9 o'clock?
But if they have
to that, it was 5.
Right, but if they do have a sticker on the door, they still can't do it. But if they don't have a sticker on the door, the state says,
It's like a legal issue.
yeah, they ban a few communities sue them and they won.
So it was the First Amendment rights issue?
Yeah.
But it changed from 5 to 9 o'clock. So you would still have your First Amendment rights after 9 o'clock too. So how are we able to draw the line at 9 o'clock? And I'm all for it not being done at all after 5 o'clock and going back, just like Trustee Pazlino said. But I'm just trying to find out how there had to be a reason, and we weren't here, as to why that happened. So I'm trying to figure that part out.
9 o'clock was a time that the Supreme Court had found as a reasonable time to cut off solicitation.
So will we be able to successfully put that back based on what was said?
The concern was there was a group that was wanting to solicit. They indicated that they were not pleased with a 5 o'clock limit. They threatened to sue. After doing significant research, taking a look at it, and we were like, hey, they have a point here. There's a couple cases that they've won, and there are court cases that said you look into a reasonable, even after it turns dark, there was a reasonable time, and they said about 9 o'clock is a reasonable time. So that was the reason for it. I fully agree with you that I think when it becomes dusk, that should probably be the time that you're not soliciting anymore, but I don't know where it will.
I think 9 o'clock is a little excessive, but I was hoping we'd do the discussions for the next, I don't know.
Well, now, there's
You
one
can't
more
just say
part.
dark. You can't just say after dark. You have to set a finite time limit.
Exactly. No, I'm just saying personally, I think dusk would be a great time, but I get that, I understand.
I think for the public to know that we have a sticker at the Village of Homer Glen that it's free. If you come up to the Village Hall, we have a sticker that you can place on your window, and nobody that's soliciting for anything should be knocking on your door with that sticker on the door. And the police force, Jeff Taylor and the guys have no problem coming out if you've got that sticker on the door and somebody knocked on your door anyway. So just so everybody knows it's available.
Is that completely enforceable then if we do the sticker on people's doors?
Well, people can put the sticker on their door, but you have to be extremely careful about what you're enforcing and why, and who's going to do it. So it's probably something that needs some additional research at this point.
Well, that's why I kind of want to leave it to the next meeting. I mean, there was a few things, because I personally was a witness at my house. People come up to the door at 8 o'clock while I'm having dinner, and they don't even have, I mean, you're supposed to display your placard, that you have a license to solicit, and that's not even happening. So I think there's a few things, not just the time limit that we need to discuss. It's what happens if you do come in after 9 o'clock or after the time that is set. I think that the penalties need to be greater, to be honest, because, you know, sometimes there's kids alone at home, there's elderly people that are home alone, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of crime coming this way from other communities. I just don't want to read about this in the paper or have something happen to one of my neighbors or anybody's here. So I think it's worth discussing in the next meeting.
Yep. We want to keep them safe, you know. All right.
Mayor, I did also have some business. If anybody else didn't have any.
No, I was going to ask you again. So are we done with the last one for putting this off for next meeting? Okay, then we don't have to vote on it right now. We're going to bring it back. So, right.
Yeah, man, I had some new business that came across our desk kind of midweek before the meeting, and it's between Will County's official notice for zoning case. Zoning case ZC22-015. It's in the section of Homer Township. It's part of our mixed-use area that is not annexed into the Homer Glen area, and we're asking for a blessing to go ahead forward with our objections with working with the planning and zoning and code enforcement in our building department. I kind of gave a supplemental sheet to everybody. I think Melissa can kind of gauge it a little bit more of what we're asking for. There's a few other concerns going forward, and then this is going to their planning commission, then it goes to their land use commission, and then it goes strictly to the board. So we're just kind of trying to follow some procedures. This is going to be on the June 7th meeting for the planning commission for Will County. So we kind of wanted to give our objections a little earlier. So Melissa, if you want to go ahead and discuss it a little bit further.
Sure.
If you guys have any questions or anything, please let us know.
The yellow one that's surrounded.
It's surrounded yellow.
That's a
The yellow section there, Jen.
The black line is our boundary, our village boundary. So it's unincorporated piece of property. Our boundary sits adjacent to it. It's actually surrounded by forest preserve on the north side. So the letter that I drafted basically highlights just that this is not consistent with our vision of 159th Street, and then also highlights that this, what we would consider this to be spot zoning. So in the exhibits I just showed you guys what the zoning is on the Will County GIS zoning layer, because most of it's Will County zoning, and then some of our zoning that shows the areas to the north that are all zoned A1 and E1. There's no I1 in this area touching it, surrounding it. There's one parcel that's isolated about 2,000 feet to the east. So I think the village is looking to see how the trustees feel about this. We would like to submit this letter to the Plan Commission prior to their public hearing, which is on June 7th. And then if the board would like us to, we can put a draft resolution on the next board agenda item that would be a formal objection. That would need to be submitted to the clerk, the Will County Clerk's office prior to this going to the board. And then what that does, according to Will County's code, is that we would be basically objecting to the map amendment. It forces a supermajority vote at the Will County board level on this item. So that's really the what staff is looking to do, and we would like your feedback on this. If you have any questions, let me know. The project is really, it's I1 zoning, which I think all of you kind of understand. Once you give zoning, there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. So you're seeing a project, but really zoning gives rights to land, right? So industrial zoning does open up a lot of things. I don't know all of those things because I haven't had a chance to really review it or dive in. What they're proposing on the land is really along the front portion, where most of the farmland is, and it's a self-storage facility. There's some climate-controlled buildings. There's an office with a very small parking lot, and then there's some open, covered storage areas that would be for boats and RVs. It's pretty tightly packed. The site plan is in the packet. If you have questions, let me know.
When was Will County looking to have this on their desk or to vote on by what?
The public hearing at Plan Commission is June 7th. According to the director over there, their tentative schedule would be that it would go to the committee for the land use committee on the 14th of June, and then would go to the board on the 17th. But he did say that's tentative.
I have no problem with the letter that you're looking at.
I think
I agree.
what the planning director is suggesting is that if you don't have any objection to this particular letter, she'd like to finish the draft and have the mayor sign it so that at least the letter can be in the hands of the Will County Zoning and Planning or Land Use Committee when it meets. And then you can pass a formal resolution at your next village board meeting, which will come, I believe, a day after the plan or the Land Use Committee meets, but before the county board meets. If you pass that resolution, as I understand it, it will then require a supermajority vote of 3/4 of the Will County Board to pass this particular zoning request. So,
When did we receive notification?
The email arrived at the village on the 17th, I believe.
Of this month? No, I'm fine with the draft letter.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for being way ahead of the game and informing us of this coming before us. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other questions, or Carmen, you all set?
Yes, Mayor, thank you.
Okay. There's 2 new businesses here. Yeah.
On the agenda.
At least on mine.
We can skip out.
Okay, is there anything in executive session to do? That's wonderful. Okay, then I would say I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.